If you keep waiting for the right time to change your life, it'll never come. You see, January won't save you because it's not the year that actually changes things. It's you. And right now, I would say that you've got a choice. You can keep living the way you are and feeling the way you do, or you could start making changes today and feel more energized and alive straight away. Over the next few minutes, I want to share 3 ideas with you that, if you can take them on board, will start changing your life immediately. And honestly, I promise you, it is not that hard. Idea number 1, you don't trust yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, think about this. When you meet a new human being for the first time, you're asking yourself 2 questions. Do I trust them? And can I rely on them? But what I've realized over the past few years is that all of us are asking ourselves the same 2 questions each day. Can I trust myself? Can I rely on myself? And I've learned that one of the most toxic things you can do is say you're going to do something and not do it. Because when you say you're going to do something and you don't follow through, you show yourself that you can't actually trust yourself and you can't actually rely on yourself. And that's why I think sometimes waiting until January for these big changes is so problematic, because in January, we say we're going to go spinning 4 times a week all year. We're going to strength train 5 times a week. We're going to walk 15,000 steps a day, whatever it might be. And usually people can do those things for a few weeks, but there is a very good reason why almost 80% of New Year's resolutions have fallen by the wayside by the end of January. And some of it comes down to trust. Now, you can change this immediately by doing one small thing every day, by making a promise to yourself every day that you keep. Because when you do that, you say you're going to do something, you do the thing that you said you were going to do, and bit by bit, you build trust in yourself. So how does this work for me? Well, I've done something for many years, maybe 6 or 7 years now. As part of my morning routine, for many years, I would make a hot drink, and that hot drink would usually be coffee. Now, I would weigh out the coffee, pour my hot water into the cafetiere, and I'd put a timer on for 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, I didn't look at my email or go on YouTube or Instagram. I would do a 5-minute strength workout in my pajamas. Because I followed the 3 key rules of behavior change, I pretty much managed to do that every single day. Now, I can talk to you about the benefits for my muscle health or my hormones or my insulin sensitivity of doing a strength workout every day. But I don't think that's the main benefit for me. The main benefit is trust. I show myself on a daily basis that no matter what my colleagues need from me, what my wife needs from me, what my children need from me, I still found 5 minutes every day to look after myself. It is such a powerful habit. And my question to you is, what do you do each day that shows you that you can trust yourself? All I'm asking you to do here is to pick one thing. Make a promise to yourself that you're going to do this small thing, even 5 minutes is enough, and make sure you do that every single day. And I promise you, before you know it, you will have built up momentum, you will have built up self-esteem, and you will have changed the way you view yourself. Idea number 2, change doesn't start with willpower, it starts with small wins. You're not lacking motivation, you're actually lacking momentum. I've just mentioned my own 5-minute strength workout that I do pretty much every single morning. And I also mentioned that the reason I managed to do this day in, day out is because it follows 3 of the most important rules of behavior change. Number 1, make it easy. Number 2, stick on your desired behavior onto an existing habit. And 3, have your environment support your desired behavior. Now, let me break down those 3 rules for you, because once you understand them, you'll find it so easy to make long-lasting change. Number 1, you got to make it easy. Why do you have to make it easy? Because most people overly rely on motivation. People think that willpower and motivation is all that they need, but it's simply not true. We know from the scientific research that motivation goes up and motivation comes down. It's what we call the motivation wave. This is what tends to happen in January. You start off with your motivation really, really high, and that's why you can do your New Year's resolutions for 2 or 3 weeks. But when your motivation drops, as it always does in everyone, you'll never do that behavior if it's too hard. That's why rule number 1 is make it easy. My strength workout only takes 5 minutes. I can never say I don't have 5 minutes. If I do say I don't have 5 minutes, I'm lying to myself. And of course, it doesn't exactly help me build trust in myself. It's not a 20-minute workout. It's not a 15-minute one. It's a 5-minute one. So number 1, you make it easy, because that means you'll do it when your motivation's high, but also when your motivation's low. Rule number 2, stick your new desired behavior onto an existing habit. There is so much research out now showing us that this is one of the very best ways to turn that new behavior into a long-term habit. So why is it so important? Well, the reason it's important is because every single human behavior requires a trigger. Now, a trigger can come in a variety of different forms. One trigger could be your memory. You could just remember each day that I've got this thing that I should be doing. Yeah, it works. It just happens to be the most unreliable trigger. Another form of trigger would be a post-it note or a notification on your calendar that reminds you to do the behavior. That is better than memory, but it's not the best one. The evidence seems to suggest that the very best thing to do, if you want to make that new behavior stick in the long term, is to quite literally stick it onto an existing habit. So what's a habit? A habit is a behavior that you are doing without any conscious thought. Me making my coffee in the morning is a habit. I don't need to check my calendar. It's going to happen, and that's the point. Because it's a habit that is locked in, and I have it already as a pattern in my daily life, by sticking my strength workout onto it, it happens. And of course, for me, it's really, really simple. My coffee brews for 5 minutes, so I have a 5-minute window. In those 5 minutes, I do my workout, and then I get the great reward of a hot cup of coffee exactly made in the way in which I like. Rule number 3 is to have your environment support your desired behavior. Now, what does that mean? If it feels like you've forgotten how to feel joy, like you're surviving and not really living, I've created a free guide to help you. Because happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you train your brain to feel. I've created a free guide, the Happiness Prescription, 5 daily rituals that rewire your brain for joy. These are the exact rituals I've used with many of my patients to help them feel alive again, even in the middle of stress, fatigue, or loss. To get your free guide now, click the first link in the description box below or scan the QR code on screen. Well, most humans find it really, really hard to overcome their environment. That's why so many of us struggle with our lifestyle choices these days, because there's a lot of poor quality, super tasty, high energy food everywhere. So it's hard for us to resist. We're living these sedentary lives where we sit down to work, we're at laptops, looking at phones. So of course it's hard to move our bodies. Our environment influences our behaviors so much more than we think. And that's why I'm always trying to create the environment in my house that supports my desired behaviors. So with this 5-minute strength workout, how do I use my environment to support my desired behavior? I keep a kettlebell and a dumbbell in my kitchen at all times. Now, I get it. Some of you will be thinking, I don't want it in the kitchen. I want to put it in the cupboard, or I want to put it away in the garage. I get that. But the problem is, if you do that, you are so much less likely to use it. I know by keeping it in my kitchen, I'm visually being triggered every time I walk into my kitchen every single morning to pick it up. It also makes it really easy. If I'm feeling tired, I've got my pajamas on, I've just put my coffee on to make. If the kettlebell isn't around, if I had to go into my cold garage to get it out or go upstairs and get it from another room, the truth is I'm unlikely to do it. Or I should say I'm less likely to do it. The easier you make something to do, the more likely it is that you will do it. Now, as I say, I've rarely missed a day in 6 or 7 years now. I have missed some days, just to be clear. I'm not perfect, but what I don't do now is beat myself up when I miss a day. If I do miss a day these days, I've learned over the years to look at myself with compassion and go, okay, you missed today. Let's make sure that's not 2 in a row. Let's make sure tomorrow you get back on the horse. So think about those 3 rules of behavior change. Make it easy, stick your desired behavior onto an existing habit, and have your environment support your desired behavior, and choose one thing, one behavior that you want to bring into your life and turn into a habit. Now, you can think about new things, or you can think about things that you've tried before. Most of us have an idea of the kinds of things that we want to do. We've often tried them before, but if you have tried something before and you have not managed to make it stick, I bet that you didn't follow at least one of those 3 rules. So you could go back and think about that habit. I don't know, let's say it was meditation. You go back and go, okay, I want to bring meditation into my life now, not in 3 months' time. I want to do that now. How easy can I make it? Can I make it 5 minutes? Right, 5 minutes of meditation. When exactly am I going to do it? What habits do I have in my life already that I can stick it onto? Maybe for you, it's also around a morning cup of tea or coffee. Maybe it's straight after your shower. Maybe it's when your car pulls into the car park at work and before you get out and walk to the office, you have a few minutes. It doesn't matter. You don't have to copy what I do. I want you to understand the key principles, because when you apply those principles, it's much more likely that these habits will stick in the long term. But as I say, it doesn't have to be meditation. It could be journaling, strength workout, Pilates, stretching, jumping jacks, 5 minutes of high intensity, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But you are fully capable of making these changes today. You don't have to wait a few months. You just need to apply those 3 rules. The final idea I want to share in this video is this idea that the journey is greater than the destination. Just think about that for a minute. When you hear that, what comes up for you? The journey is more important than the destination. I think this is one of the most important things to understand when we want to change our life. When people wait for January the 1st before they make a change, they fundamentally misunderstand the nature of change. Change does not happen in the future. It happens in the present. If you think change is going to happen in the future, you are reinforcing the belief that change is something separate to where you are. And this is toxic because you are always separate from the place where you want to get to, from the place where you are thriving. You become an eternal project. You're never there. It's always at some point in the future. Yeah, not now. I'm too busy. There's too many things going on now. Yeah, but then I'll be okay. Really? Has that happened before? Have you honestly changed your life on January the 1st in the past? I guess some people have, but not many. Life is happening now. It's not happening in the future. And if you keep pushing change into the future, you'll never get there. You have to fall in love with the process of change. My 5-minute strength workout, I love doing it every single morning now. That doesn't mean I feel like it every day. Some days I don't have the motivation, but I apply those 3 rules to keep me on track. But that 5-minute strength workout now has become a part of me. I'm not doing it to get somewhere. I'm not doing it to lose a certain amount of weight or to have a certain amount of lean muscle mass on my body. No, I'm doing it because it's an act of love towards myself. It's me showing that I value myself. And I'm going to value myself today, and I'm going to value myself on January the 1st. But I'm not going to stop valuing myself at the end of January. Do you see the point? That's the key. The best kind of change is change that has become a part of who you are. Let's look at this a slightly different way. I do a 5K on most Saturdays. It's something called Parkrun, which hopefully you have wherever you're watching this video. And parkruns are such beautiful community events where people get together and they complete 5K. Some people run it fast, some people run it slow, some people walk it. I've met several people at parkruns over the years who never used to run. And then they start training to do a 5K. And they do a 5K and they're faster than they were a few years ago, but they're always disappointed. I'm not where I want to be. I wish I could go under 22 minutes now. I'm only at 24 minutes or whatever it might be. And I get that. But it's kind of mad really, because if we looked at where we were, which was not running, not being at Parkrun, instead of celebrating the fact that we show up every Saturday and we complete 5K, there's this ingrained idea in society that we always have to be doing it to achieve something. It's not enough to just do it. There has to be an outcome from it. And I've seen so many people who are always disappointed because they're not as quick as they want to be. Or maybe they're getting older and they can't quite get the time that they could get when they were 10 years younger. And if you think about it, it's crazy. It's these cultural ideas that have infiltrated all of our minds that the only point of doing something is to achieve an external outcome. Think about toothbrushing, right? We all brush our teeth. I hope most of us brush our teeth twice a day. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. Now, interestingly enough, toothbrushing follows those three principles. It's easy. It only takes 2 minutes. If it was 20 minutes a day, you may not do it every day. Secondly, there is a routine as to where it fits in your day, usually when you get up or after your breakfast or just before you go to your bed at night. That's why it happens. And thirdly, your environment supports that desired behavior. For most people, when you go into your bathroom, there is a toothbrush and toothpaste there. If they weren't there, if they were in another room or in your car boot, it's less likely you're going to do it, right? But you have to think about toothbrushing because when you were 3 years old, toothbrushing probably wasn't a habit. You probably needed someone in your life, like your parents, to remind you. But now, I'm guessing for most of you, you don't need your parents to remind you. It was a habit that was built on those three foundational principles. That's why you're still doing it. You're also not doing it for a particular outcome in the future. Yeah, you're doing it because you want healthy teeth, right? But you're not doing it necessarily so you can have a photo shoot with your teeth in 4 months' time. You're doing it because it's a part of who you are. And I know, and I've seen it with thousands of patients, that you can apply those same principles in your own life today. So don't wait until January. Don't push change to some mythical point that someone else defines for you at some point in the future. Instead, I want you to think about these three core ideas. Number one, show yourself that you can trust yourself by making a promise to yourself each day and keeping it. Number two, remember change doesn't start with motivation and willpower. It starts with small wins. And lesson number three, the journey is more important than the destination. Change does not happen in the future. It happens right now. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you learned something about the nature of change. Please do let me know which one of those three ideas resonated the most with you. And if you did enjoy it, please do stick around because I think you are really going to enjoy watching this one as well. What if I told you that feeling behind in life isn't a failure, it's a signal? A signal that the way you're measuring progress might be a little bit flawed. And my hope is that I'm going to save you years of stress, regret, and chasing the wrong goals.